Okay, so word is Kyrie Irving just doesn't want to play. Personal reasons, whatever it may be. Kyrie Irving missed the Sixers game, and his response to that was, I just didn't want to play. I don't know about you, but that doesn't sit right with me. Like, I get the concept of mental health, right? That's very big, and I don't want to diminish anyone from understanding that concept, that it's more important to take care of yourself than it is to, play a sport, worry about a job. Like, you've got to take care of your mental faculties. I get that. But Kyrie, this is an ongoing trend with him. And for me, this is a real big issue because we got to kind of dive into how this could affect not just Kyrie. How could this affect the Brooklyn Nets as a franchise and their opportunity for trying to win an NBA championship in 2021? So we're going to take a deep dive. Stick around to the end of this video because not only are we going to look at the Brooklyn Nets situation and how this affects them, but what a possible solution could be, because I don't know how many more times the Brooklyn Nets and the Brooklyn Nets fans are going to allow Kyrie Irving to not play just because he doesn't want to play. Well, let's get into it.
Are you ready?
Welcome back to Journey of a Ballaholic, the best talk show for basketball addicts. I'm your host, General Hannibal Lex. Now, if you're new on this channel here, you're going to be getting my passionate and in-depth analysis on the hottest NBA and college basketball topics. Listen, I'm a ballaholic. I'm absolutely addicted to basketball. Now, just like everybody, I've got my own opinions. But if you like opinions that are backed by facts, go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, but also be sure that you hit that bell notification and turn it on to all notifications. That way you'll let YouTube know that whenever I upload new videos, which is every Monday and Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that they'll go ahead and make sure that you are one of the first people to check it out. Now, let's go ahead today as we're trying to get to 7,300 subscribers. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. For those, let's go ahead and work that algorithm as we always be trying to do. Hit that like button. If you don't like it, hit the dislike button. For whatever reason, it works the same way. It's a free way to support the channel. But we're going to go ahead and get into this thing because Kyrie Irving, in my opinion, he missed a big opportunity. Why? Because the Philadelphia 76ers are one of the teams that I've been screaming about that I think is a legitimate title contender. And the Sixers, who didn't play well against the Brooklyn Nets, I think they kind of looked at this as Durant's not there, Irving's not there, and it kind of just took the foot off the gas. But the Brooklyn Nets, they showed that they've got some young talent that wants more opportunity and is ready to handle a bigger load. So where does Kyrie Irving play into this? We've seen him in different stops, different organizations have the same issue, which is being a leader. Now, let me go ahead and stop and say this straight from the jump. I'm a big Kyrie Irving fan. I'm a Duke basketball fan. Kyrie Irving was one of the best players in Duke history that I saw come in a small sample size of about 11 games, but he was amazing. When he comes to the NBA, he struggled in Cleveland. LeBron comes, they win a championship, to go to 3 straight finals. Then he goes to Boston, and that's where things started to go downhill for Kyrie. Listen, Uncle Drew, nobody will ever question his talent. To me, he's got the greatest handles in NBA history. Skip to Malou, Tim Hardaway, you name him. He's got the best handle in NBA history. But it's the mental. See, sports are not always just about physical. A lot of times it's mental. And you think about guys like the Jordans and the Kobes and the LeBrons, they have a mental edge, an advantage on players. Kyrie, to me, is missing something in the mental aspect. And I think his ability to say, I'm not going to play in this game just because I didn't want to. Not because of a sickness. Not because of an injury. Not because of a quarantine. He decided to not play and to risk the opportunity of his teammates losing. Risk that opportunity. Luckily they didn't, but he ran that risk of them losing without him. Supposedly one of their leaders. How does that sit with you? Let me know in the comment section below. How does that sit with you if you're a Brooklyn Nets fan? Are you okay with that? Are you okay with your leader just deciding to not travel with your team, or to not be there with your team, or to not be the leader when that's his job? I don't get that one. So a bigger issue that I think we have to look at is, can the Brooklyn Nets actually win a championship with Kyrie Irving with all the money he's making? Can they really win a championship with him as one of their best players? A guy they have to rely on. You've already lost Spencer Dinwiddie for the rest of the season, most likely, due to his ACL injury. What are you going to do with Kyrie Irving, man? See, to me, I think this right here, honestly, I have to be honest with you. I think this is a prime opportunity where the Brooklyn Nets, if they are smart, they need to really have a sit down with Kyrie and evaluate if he's serious about basketball. I know that sounds crazy. These are professional athletes who are making generational wealth. I mean, just goo gobs amounts of money. But you had to really sit this young man down and ask him, are you serious about the NBA game? Because the Brooklyn Nets have no chance of winning a championship without Kyrie Irving playing, number one, and also being the best version of himself physically and mentally. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the Brooklyn Nets need to do one of two things. Number one, have that sit down. Based on that conversation, and it's not necessarily what he says, but it may even be how he says it. But I think they may have to really take a long look at determining, do they want to keep him around? You've got a lot of young pieces that are still there that are good. Karis LeVert, Jared Allen, Harris. Listen, you got some young talent there that could actually be even better, as they showed last night. These guys they can ball. Give them more opportunity, they can ball. But if Brooklyn's going to win a championship, Kevin Durant as the only real star is not going to cut it. So maybe the Brooklyn Nets need to actually consider shipping Kyrie Irving out of there. I know it sounds crazy. I know it does. But maybe the Brooklyn Nets would actually be better off without Kyrie Irving, who's one of the best basketball players on the earth, without him on the team. Now, does that necessarily mean going to maybe trade for James Harden? I don't know if the Rockets would do that. I know James Harden reportedly has wanted to get to Brooklyn. Maybe that package works. Maybe you trade him somewhere else for something else. I've said from the beginning, I don't think that this Brooklyn Nets team, as currently constructed, that's even with Kyrie Irving playing to the best of his ability, I don't think they can win the championship this year. There's two things roster-wise I think the Brooklyn Nets still need to address. They don't have a legitimate wing defender. You tell me the last time a team won an NBA championship that did not have a legitimate wing defender. When the Brooklyn Nets have to face the Clippers, who's guarding Kawhi? When they've got to face the Lakers, who's guarding LeBron? Now some people say, oh, well, Kevin Durant would. No, Kevin Durant's playing the power forward position. He has to match up with Anthony Davis. If you're playing against the Milwaukee Bucks, are you putting Kevin Durant on Giannis Antetokounmpo? I don't know about this Brooklyn Nets lineup. And it's not just the wing. Here's the second part to that. The Brooklyn Nets also don't have a 5-man and or a legitimate 4 that can defend on defense and be a stretch big on offense. DeAndre Jordan and Jared Allen, they can't stretch the offense, stretch the defense when Brooklyn is on offense. They are finishers around the rim. But you need floor spacing. When the Brooklyn Nets lost to the Washington Wizards the other day, their closing lineup, they didn't have Jared Allen or DeAndre Jordan on the court. Why? Because you want space. You want flow to your offense to let your one-on-one elite players have the ability to do that. So what did they do? They brought in Jeff Green. He's not the defender that you need at that spot. You tell me tell me the last team that won a championship that didn't have a legitimate center or power forward that was able to defend as well as stretch the floor on offense. Think about it. The Lakers had Anthony Davis to be able to do that last year. The Toronto Raptors, they had Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka to be able to do that the year before. Golden State had Draymond Green, who when they went small ball could play the 5 and still be able to stretch out to the perimeter on offense and be legit on defense. You tell me the last team that didn't have that elite wing and that stretch big. They could also play defense. Listen, I've said it from the beginning. Brooklyn Nets have issues, and that was roster construction issues. Now they've got a Kyrie Irving issue, which, hey man, it doesn't look good. It does not look good for this Brooklyn Nets team. So let me know in the comment section below. What's your thoughts, man? What's your thoughts about Kyrie Irving deciding he doesn't want to play? And how do you think that'll affect the Brooklyn Nets and their potential to win an NBA championship in 2021? Listen, I appreciate you for taking a look at this video. As always, make sure that you all stay safe in the streets. Until next time, General Hannibal X, and I'm out. Peace.